Clear History was released in 2013. This is directed by Greg Mottola, and it's written by Larry David, Alec Berg, David Mandel, and Jeff Schaffer, and we have a cast including Larry David, Bill Hader, Philip Baker Hall, Jon Hamm, Kate Hudson, Michael Keaton, and various others. We have a really solid cast there, and the narrative sounded interesting enough. Having now watched it, I can say that it's okay as a one-time watch. I certainly didn't love it. I didn't find it to be that entertaining, but I didn't hate it either. I guess it was a pretty average experience. Nathan Flomm leaves his job and moves to Martha's Vineyard. Then his former boss turns up and he wants to get revenge for the way he was treated. As a narrative, I thought it sounded pretty interesting. I had no idea where this would go or what the revenge would entail or what the characters would be like. And that also meant that I didn't have any specific expectations. I wasn't going into this looking for a specific story or a specific execution. And while I believed the narrative, everything made sense within the context of the film, I just didn't necessarily find it to be that fascinating. It was moderately engaging. I wasn't completely bored, and I guess throughout it I was still interested to find out what would happen next, as I genuinely had no idea where it was going to go. So I was reasonably engaged, but there were definitely large chunks of time here and there where it just wasn't interesting, where there was just nothing happening, or at least nothing that I found to be fascinating. So there were some good bits. The good bits weren't amazing, but they were decent enough. But in between then, not that great. I don't know how I feel about our protagonist. I wouldn't say he's necessarily annoying. I don't dislike him, but I wasn't always liking the character either. And because the narrative itself isn't very strong, the film was really relying on having a brilliant, fun, engaging, fascinating character to save it and make it more interesting. And because the character's not the best, it kind of means the film doesn't really have anything that brilliant to offer. And then we come to the comedy. The comedy, for me, was not great. Comedy is subjective, so take that with a pinch of salt, but I didn't really think it was very funny. There were maybe aspects where I could identify certain things that some people might find funny depending on your preferences, so it's not that it was not a comedy. I don't think that it shouldn't be called a comedy. I can see the aspects where it was maybe meant to be funny, but for me personally, it was just a little bit bland, not that entertaining, not that funny. Visually fine, good camera work, good lighting, we have good music as well. So it's not a terrible film. I'd say for the most part, it's an average film, a little bit boring, but there are some moments that are quite engaging. We have some good performances. Some of the characters are absolutely fine. Some of them are likable some of the time. Visually, it's quite appealing. For me, it's not funny, but I can see aspects that some people might find amusing if it appeals to their preferences. Do I recommend it? I genuinely have no idea. If there's anything about this that appeals to you, if you're a fan of the cast, if you think the narrative sounds interesting, if, like me, you were curious to find out what exactly was going to happen, then yeah, give it a go. Don't expect anything incredible. You might like it more than I did if it appeals to your comedy preferences. It's not the worst, but I don't think Clear History delivered what it could have done. I think it could have been a much more fascinating story. It could have been a better experience, but I guess it wasn't too bad.